Wait for it to go live here. And then I see it, we're live. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Hello and welcome to Levels Without Limits. It's been a minute because when I travel, obviously it's harder to schedule these, but we are going live on Instagram as well. We are live on Instagram. We are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, on all the things. So I'm Amanda Marino, your host of Levels Without Limits, and I have an amazing guest here who I'm so honored and privileged to have met across the world and have here with me today, Dr. Nicola. We met in Dubai at the Founders Conference, and I had a keynote, and we deeply connected through my keynote and after, and just knew that we were women, like the title here, when women unite, everything changes. And your vulnerability and authenticity just drew my heart to you right away. And I know we've been through similar things, women uniting are where it's at. Unfortunately, that's not always the way it is still today in 2026, which is a really big shame. If you're not a girl's girl by now, I recommend that you work on that because you're missing out and women are where it's at. So with that, I would love for you to introduce yourself to my audience, for them to get to know you. You're so amazing. We've done so many amazing things across the globe. And I'm so excited. I love to have people that are smart, brilliant, beautiful. That's who I love to interview. So I'm so grateful to have you, Dr. Nicola.
Amanda, thank you. That is just such a lovely introduction. And you touched my heart from your keynote at Dubai, and you still touch my heart now. And yes, I do have to strongly agree with you about being a girl's girl. I remember at your keynote, when it was the Q&A, I just felt compelled to stand up and I poured out my heart. You speak about vulnerability. I don't even know what I said, but I do know what compelled me. And that had everything to do with women uniting and strong, powerful, alpha, able, women who are doing things in our own fields, in our own parts of the world. But we stand together, we unite, and we cheer each other on. And we're excited for dynamic, significant women, not threatened, not intimidated, none of it. It just feels so irrelevant. But it is still a challenge in the world of today, and it is a climb. And I love your encouragement as well, to women. And I can just only echo your sentiments. I'm on the same page. I don't know if you want me to just introduce.
Introduce yourself. We'll just assume that, I'm sure some of our followers are the same, but let's assume that they don't know, no one knows anything about you. So who are you?
Okay, wonderful. We actually have something else in common. You visited South Africa. I'm born in Namibia and I'm raised in South Africa. So now I am between South Africa and Italy, focusing a lot on moving to the States as well, because I have a big vision, way too big, impossible, but those are good visions to pursue.
Impossible.
Nothing is impossible, exactly. Yes, amen. But I run two companies. One is called Nicola Brands. One is called GODBRANDS. I'm the founder, and I believe in the power of brands to communicate messages to humanity in a way that you can megaphone a message to the whole world. Obviously, with social media today, everything online, that's a lot easier than it was even 15 years or something ago. And I call myself a world leader, because I feel I must, because I say politics is not world leadership. A person who is called, an individual with a calling, who it doesn't keep time. It's not a job you get paid for. You don't have to please voters or funders or anything. It's just, I have to do this thing for humanity, for this world. I came to earth for this calling. So I carry that. I have a slogan called Change the World, Love Wins. I'm able to... That's a hello from my dogs.
I have them too. They're downstairs though. No, I believe love wins. Love conquers all.
Yeah. So I'm building the businesses. Also have a foundation. It's all on the love page, but it's about business. It's about charity. It's about philanthropy. It's about spiritual leadership. And I talk about the new world. Post-COVID, we need to recreate ourselves. We're like the caterpillar who's gone into the chrysalis, and we need to come out the butterfly. What does that look like? And I do say humanity needs leadership, because we need voices who kind of seem to know what's coming or where we should go. And I'm like, wait a minute, I actually I know some stuff. I don't know why I know the stuff. I say it's a heavenly download, but I have a responsibility to share it with humanity. So I feel my plate is way too full, but hey, that's what we do. We just, go out and slay.
I agree. I agree. And so like what kind of brought you to this portion and this calling of where you are today? Like what brought you to this moment, do you think? Was there a defining moment, or was there a slew of events, because to get to, I feel like, a place where you are, sometimes you have to go through things to get there, right? And sometimes they're not the most beautiful things to get there. Sometimes loneliness brings out the beauty, and that's when love wins, right? So I'd love to hear a little bit about the journey to this calling of, like, I know my purpose on earth. Like every day I pray and ask God to help me to help at least one person in the world, in my day-to-day life, or somewhere on virtual platforms or whatever. And like, I just want to help make the world a better place and leave a legacy for my children of one that I did good in the world.
I mean, I'm so on the same page as you. That's just, it's such a, we're connected at the level of heart to heart connection, the way you speak about yourself. So talking a little bit about my journey, I seem to be very quick. I'm very much shaped as a woman with a mission. So even from, I left school, and then I needed to study at university, and then I had to get out and do business, like this urgency that I don't even know why, because I've subsequently learned the many different ways that people can do life. And for me, it was one track and a great rush, for something. But I studied finance, started a job that lasted 13 months. Then I had to launch my own company. So I call myself a serial entrepreneur.
Me too, on my profile.
I love it. Yeah. So lots of different companies, over the years, and different things, and stopped for motherhood a bit, and God got hold of me, and lots of things. But in my early 20s, as I was working, and you receive a paycheck and you pay the bills and all of that, and I started sort of going to church and started to allow sort of that spiritual input to come into my life. It had happened as a teenager, but then there was this time away, and then I went back, and that's really when I felt like a higher, deeper purpose calling got hold of me. But what happened was I started questioning, like, why am I born? Like, why am I going to work every day? Why am I, doing this thing? It doesn't seem to be so meaningful.
Passion and purpose. You were seeking passion and purpose.
Yeah. So I had to go on a journey and I actually started talking to God in the sky, just like, okay, I need to know why I was born, because otherwise I'm wasting my time, and I don't want to waste my time. So I really have to align my living to my purpose, but I don't know what that is. And that led me on a journey to actually receive answers. Like, it drops into your spirit, when you're open and you're seeking from the universe, like you're seeking answers, you're seeking truth, you're seeking direction, it actually does come. And if you're very, very passionate and you put all that fire and intensity of yourself into it, it's amazing. The universe wants to communicate with you, but we have to be willing.
I call them divine hits.
Okay.
When I'm open
and
I'm listening, I get divine clear hits where there is not a question in my mind that this is the direction or this is the person or whatever it is, and they are spot on. And that is direct from God.
Yes, I love that. I haven't heard that before, actually, divine hits. Divine so I've had some really powerful divine hits. They've really landed in the bullseye, and they have totally determined the direction of my life. I've gone through some tough stuff, liquidated a company, had some litigation. My lawyer pulled out at the last minute, and I was early in my 20s. So I feel I got some real battle scars. For a period of about 7 years, I felt like everybody can do business but me. I just lost all my confidence. But I think those things really, really shape you and make you muchier, make you like Alice in Wonderland. I think, it says being muchier, more Alice, I don't know if you know the movie, Are You the Alice? And, you need to be much more muchier. So I became more muchier. But I definitely got directed towards business. I got directed towards what I now call kingdom business. And it surprises me. We talk about religion, but we don't talk about the kingdom as, like, every human being understands there is this concept of the kingdom of heaven that is in each one of our hearts. It doesn't matter your culture, your color, your race, your gender, your religion. None of these layers of outer world packaging, which is all they are to me. They're just tools and packaging. But I think this is a woman's perspective, you see. It's just like, here's the truth and here's real reality, and it's inside of you, and you just need to connect to it and live inside of it. And then you build the world outside from the inside. You build from the inside out, not from the outside in, you know? So anyway, so I really had a mind transforming, sort of be renewed by the transforming of your mind to test the will of God. I had that experience. But I really gave myself to this journey with God. It's a big faith. But even faith to me is trust. It's like a relationship with God, and you trust him, you know, and you feel it in your heart. It just makes sense to the heart. So if we're very, very focused on social media or likes or politics, or, you know, we're just attached to all these things, or the news, and also if we're living a lot of fear and, sorry?
What people think about us.
All of that. And like, it's natural, you know, we're a work in progress. We have our fears, we have our insecurities, we have our angst. Me too. We're human. We're beautifully human. So it's messy and all of it. But, you know, the more we attach to God, the more we build our faith, the more we grow that. It's like a muscle. Things change, and it just, everything looks different. You know, there's a saying, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Yes.
So when you look at the world through the eyes of God, which is like, well, how do you do that? Well, you have to spend time with God, you know, read the Bible, worship, pray, fast, go to a church, you know, and I'm not promoting Christianity, because that's also a religion, and there are many religions, and there are scriptures and books and things. So I'm embracing all of it, because what do I know? I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what other people's journeys are. I know I meet the most amazing people.
Yeah, your journey.
Yeah.
And that's
it's a personal journey, yeah. But I just meet the most beautiful people, you know, and when you're on a journey of really serving humanity, you know, and it's genuine, like it's not a popular thing or a good marketing tool or whatever. It's just, I need to do this. This is me. This is, you know, it's like, there's another saying, it's like, the secret of life, the secret of living is giving, you know? So when we're living to serve ourselves, we haven't yet found the secret of life. But when we're giving, you know, what can I do for you? Like you said, help one person a day. That it's a selfless, it's an extroverted. I also say love makes you extroverted. You know, it stops being about me. Yes, I have needs. Yes, I have wants, all of that. But I'm able to get over myself in a way, you know. Then I don't know. You tap into the magic of life. I don't even think it's such a great secret, you know. It's just,
and when you stop, it's like people get stuck in self-obsession and like what's going on with, you know, myself and what's going on. But when you step out of yourself and you connect and align with God and you give to others, you really stop worrying about so many of those things. Like you're saying, like they just become irrelevant, you know? I mean, of course we have like needs and wants and all those things, but not like this thing that they used to be, you know, like this big dramatic thing. Like it's just not like that anymore. We do a couple of hellos. So Maureen says, hello, ladies. Hello, Maureen. We have Phil Trudell who says amen to that. And then I love that. The secret to living is giving. So just wanted to honor those comments. Thank you. Ask any questions for us and any comments you have, we welcome.
Yeah.
So meeting you in Dubai was very special. You know, it was a beautiful surprise to have, you know, you never know, you never know your audience, right? Especially when you're flying across the world. And for the first time, I've never been to Dubai. So you never know the audience, and I'm speaking just like from my heart, and something, you know, impacted you so deeply that, you know, you got on the microphone and you were emotional and you were vulnerable. And like, I loved that. I was like, oh my God, come give me a hug. And like, you came to the stage and gave me a hug, and, you know, and then we definitely just had a heart, soul, like immediate connection from that moment. And then some of the men and things like that were very raw and vulnerable. Like Paul like got very raw. He ended up finishing, he said he was going to finish his book that month. I said, what do you do this week? Like to like take action. And he actually reached, you know, he did a live with me too. But he finished his book. So, you know, just the power of sometimes God speaks through other people, right? And when we're surrounding ourselves with quality people who are also on the same path, we're going to hear those things sometimes that we're not hearing from our own voice.
Correct. Absolutely true.
of Unite.
Totally agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have a book in the background. Would you mind showing that?
Oh, this is actually, I do have a book, but this is actually a publication. I have a book here. That's a book.
Awesome.
And I'm busy with a book, but this one is a publication from 2024. It was one of the things that I got involved with, which is women leaders to look up to in 2024.
Nice.
I've realized that I have to go on this journey of promoting myself. I feel so full of information. I feel so full of messaging to help humanity. I see that we're in struggles that some of it, honestly, I think we can evolve out of, and quite quickly, but we need other voices. And I feel I feel like a tour guide in a way. I feel like I've got this little flag and I'm saying, follow me, hear what I have to say, and whenever I speak out, excuse my dogs, but I'm a mom, I'm a homemaker, and I have
It's not being one bit.
and my furry kids. Anyways, yeah, so I realized that, so I'm building the personal brand, Dr. Nicola, but initially I thought, oh, this is ego. I don't want, I don't need to promote myself. And it took me quite a long time because I'd built humility, following church, God and all that wisdom. And then to get to a mindset where I'm like, no, this is a tool. And, there's also the saying, the best known beats the best. So I can think I'm sitting on all this great information and I have all this wonderful wisdom to share and it'll change people's lives. But, I'm hiding it under my lamp under a bushel. So, yeah. Anyway, so talking about that, I started to step out and do different things that put me into the spotlight a lot more.
Yeah, I think that's a really important message for anyone that's watching, that like, if you think that the two of us putting ourselves out there and building our brands has felt good in the beginning or was not easy, it's hard and it does feel weird. Like promoting my businesses was like, okay, I can do that all day, but promoting myself and like leaning into the brand of Amanda definitely some ickies for me. It made me feel like it was ego driven or self-serving or any of that. But then when I sat with my, with God and like my alignment and my purpose, it isn't about me. Like when I got on the TEDx stage, the only reason I wasn't nervous was because it wasn't about me. I wanted to help somebody with that message. That's how I stayed out of being nervous, because it's not about me. I do have experience and gifts, and just like you do. And so anyone watching this, it's not easy in the beginning to put yourself out there. It is hard. It is scary, but do it anyways. And you will reap the rewards, because you are going to help people with your experience, with your education, with your heart, with your spirituality, with your leadership. That's what we're meant to do. We're not meant to hide, like you said, under the tree.
Exactly. So, I mean, obviously you've been on the same journey as me, because as you talk about it, it's like, yes. I've experienced that. I've had to overcome those things. You've got to push through. You've got to believe in it. And for me, I also really needed to understand that, like, I'm Dr. Nicola, the personal brand in sort of business lingo, but it's a tool. Like, it isn't actually, when I'm at home and with my friends or my family, whatever, I'm just me. I feel I can even be nameless. Like, I don't have a name. I'm nameless, faceless, selfless, and then, but this tool is, I have a name, I have a face, I am selfless, but you don't see the selfless necessarily if one looks on the outside. If one's looking on the outside, then one can be like, oh, she's full of herself, needs to be on the cover of magazines, have a name out there and so on. But that's not understanding. When the Bible also says humans look on the outside, but God looks at the heart. And when you look at the heart of a person, then you can see their selflessness. Like, I can see that in you. I can see the beautiful Amanda, your strength, your beauty, your dynamism. I mean, you're amazing.
So are you?
That's heart gold,
you today. Like it's seeing through that. And if you know your own heart and you're connected with your source, who I choose to call God, the noise starts to fade away. Like I was, in my area and in my arena of behavioral health, I was one of the first people to step into social media. And I opened up my company in 2019. So I really had nowhere to go. I had people telling me I was narcissistic, egotistical, like all these things. And all I was trying to do is like keep my business alive through a
Yeah.
time when I only knew marketing business to business and face to face. I was just trying to survive. And then it made me a leader in behavioral health as far as having an online presence. And that was not intentional. Even if it was, there's people that say now I want to be an influencer, and that's okay too. Like,
Yep.
it's okay. All of it is, if like my heart is pure, your heart is pure. If if anything I say today helps one person, then that is a gift from God. And I am okay with promoting myself today. It took time. Like I was in modeling and acting my entire life, and hip hop dancing. And I was fine in front of a camera crew, but talking to my telephone was so hard for me for a long time. I'm like, I'm talking to my phone. This is who am I talking to? And then when you just like you said, you detach it and stop making it about you, and like,
Yeah.
oh, what are they gonna think? Or don't do it about any of that. And at first, don't watch it for a while. Like if I have
Yeah.
people, you don't watch it, just post it. Just post it, don't look. And guess what? You can help somebody.
Yeah. That always amazes me, but it makes sense to me because we all have our own unique journeys, and I've lived with myself my whole life. I always say you with you is a relationship. So I know me very well. I've lived with me, my strengths, my quirks. I mean, I just know this person. It's all normal for me.
Yeah.
But when a new person encounters you, something that it's like, oh, this thing, or like, no, that's not really anything. And it's like, that's the thing that touches that person, or it's just what they need in that moment. So to me, it is a step of faith. You step out and you give your gift. And I also say we host pipes of heaven. Be sure to plug into your source, be plugged into God, be plugged into higher power, love, energy, whatever you want to call it. And let heaven flow through you. To me, that's what it is. And I want to be as clean, as selfless, as pure as I can be, and just bless. I just want to give my gifts away, give, what I've been given away. And to me, that's also sowing, and there's this beautiful how it all comes together, because humanity is one, we're all connected. So as you sow, which is your giving, you reap, because the law of sowing and reaping is in the universe. But also I almost find it unfair, because the most rewards I get is when I'm giving. I feel so amazing. I'm like, this should be selfless. Like I should give, period. It should stop there. And I'm like, I feel so great. I'm immediately getting a return, of how wonderful I feel as a giver, like a cheerful giver. And so it surprises me that it seems to still be a secret, that we're not running at it. We're not rushing at giving, selfless giving, but we should be.
Well, I believe just like definitely along those lines, but it's important for us to give and also be willing to receive, right? Because who are we to say no to people that want to give to us and that we each need to receive? So like, it's like remaining teachable. And like I'm in a group, I'm in an organization of all founders, right? And one of the things is you have to have gives to the group, and you can have asks, but you have to have stuff that you can give and offer. And I love that, because I want to be mentoring and I want to be mentored continually.
Beautifully.
It's something like I have a lot to offer, but I have so much to learn. You know what I mean? And like I think that who are we to turn down the gifts to us, right?
Yeah.
Offering to us.
Yeah, I really love that, because it's kind of looking at the full circle. Sometimes we look only at our life, but it's like, if we love giving, or we have something to give, and then are we thinking, okay, so we want other people to receive, but they also have something to give. So then I need to also receive, and it just completes that picture. And also, again, for me, is that humanity is one. We're all giving and we're all receiving. But maybe I can give, a hug or a smile, and somebody else can, bake me a beautiful loaf of bread, whatever, I'm thinking barter. I love the barter economy.
I know it sounds like silly, but like every day I make it a point to, when I go to the grocery store, to talk to the cashiers, ask them how their day is, the staff stocking things, especially pharmacies, because I feel like everybody's super mean to the people at the pharmacies, because like at least in the States, like if the insurance, something's wrong with the insurance, or something's wrong with the doctor getting the medications, it all comes out on that team. So I always am like, how are you guys doing today? Has anyone been mean to you? Like I have like taken it upon myself to like just make sure, like, check on the people I feel like nobody's checking on, and that makes me feel really good. And they're like, some of them are like, nobody ever talks to me, but that's just something like I do every single day.
Wonderful.
And
I
it's just
love
natural. It's just natural. It makes me feel good because, like, I
it.
was a service worker. Like, I worked at a hotel, and I had people treat me great, and I had people treat me terrible. And when someone said, "Hello, how are you? How's your day?" Like that can go a long way. What if somebody's like a super depressed, going through so many things, and you can't see it by walking by them, but your hello, how is your day going? I hope people are being kind to you. Say, if that makes a difference in their day, like, you just never know.
Yeah. I mean, that what you're describing now just makes me think of, like, living in the present, living in the now, and having time for other people, not just being like in our head and in our inner world of, I need to do this, I'm stressing about that, and I don't know, maybe there's some wisdom in it, some life mastery in it, but just this thing of, slow down, be at peace, be present, take time for other people around you.
Yeah,
I, I
so
just wish
easy to be
all,
kind. It's so easy to be kind. I don't like, kind of like you, when I don't understand like the concept of like women being threatened by women. Like, that's like another language to me. And so I know that it happens and it exists. I just don't comprehend it. I don't believe there's any competition. I believe there's enough, like, your shine makes my shine brighter. We shine brighter together. So I just don't understand like why people choose to exert more energy to be mean or to harm or to go below the belt or like be nasty for no reason. It takes so much more energy. It's so easy for me to go into a grocery store and smile and be kind to people. Like, it's like the easiest thing in the world. It takes zero effort.
I mean, for me, when you say like, why does that happen? Two things come to mind. I mean, I agree with you, but obviously I've also gone on the same journey and ended up, internally or attitudinally in a similar place to you and living that way. But there's one phrase which is hurting people hurt people. So that's the one thing, is if one is full of pain, full of negativity, and sometimes we don't choose that. Some of that stuff is like, you're a child. I mean, this thing of parenting, one is a vulnerable child and other people put imprint on you, and some of it I believe to be energetic, that, either real pain or bad role modeling, in like parenting, caregiving, and it just makes people go on the wrong side, like go to the shadow side. So that's the one thing. And we need healing, we need emotional healing, we need energetic blockages to be released. So there's a lot of that. And the other thing that comes to mind is that, we all have a worldview, and what we believe, as we believe, we live it out. It's kind of like we attract what we believe is truth. But there is true truth and, our version of truth. I mean, we're the little people on the planet. We're not God, we're not the universe, we're not eternity. So we do need to be humble about what we know and what we don't know. But if one has a lack mentality, or a scarcity or a limited mindset, believing that it's scarce. So I believe in abundance, and I've learned that from my study of God and the Bible and understanding nature. I always like to use the example, which you may have already heard, but how many seeds are in an apple? Okay, you could count them, right? Like 5 or 6, whatever. But how many apples are in one seed? Because one seed grows a tree. That tree, year after year, produces apples. So already one tree produces an abundance of apples, but each one of those apples is containing 5 or 6 seeds. You can plant all of those. So it's limitless, literally. And, levels without limits is your talk, so your show. So we tap into God's economy as opposed to the human-made economy. We can flip over to the abundance mindset, but we're not all there yet. So when one is in a scarcity mindset, it can be that, Amanda, your shine threatens my shine. So I have to be less if you're going to be so bright. So I don't want to support you, or I don't want to be around you, or whatever, or vice versa.
I've definitely experienced a lot. And I have compassion for it today. I used to be upset about it. I have compassion for it more today than I used to. It's just, I don't speak the language. I don't understand it, but I on a conscious level, I do. On an emotional level, I'm like, there's no competition. There's no duplicates of you or me or the other people, right? Like, only thing that different, like, yes, we all have special, unique, beautiful qualities, but like, The only difference between me and other people with doing certain things I've done is I have the audacity to be scared and do it anyways, right? I'm scared. I feel, uncomfortable, but I do it anyways, right? So
Yeah.
this is available. The things that I've done are available to anyone that wants to do
Yeah.
them. Same thing with you. They're
Right.
available to
Yeah.
everybody. But I do understand and do have compassion for that lack of mindset. Like in my teen years, I definitely had that, but not in my 40s.
Yeah. That's one of the beautiful things as we, mature and gain wisdom and confidence in who we are. It's like we lose some of that stuff. It's just like, okay, I'm past this. I don't need to, just
Comment that is true. So true. Hurting people, hurt people, hurt people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. And you have to consider the source. You know what I mean? Like I used to take so many things personal, and like as I was bullied as a kid. So when, as an adult, when things were said to me, it brought that little girl part out of me, right? That little girl that was bullied and picked on, that would get triggered. So I had to do some work on that. And now there's not many things that can be said that can, like, maybe if I'm tired, it can hit me for a moment. There's not much that can be said to me now that changes my mood. So I know there's certain projects, and like, can you talk about this? Like, I remember there was like the shirts you were showing me on WhatsApp.
Yes.
Some of your movements. Can you share a little bit about some of that, like some of the work you're doing?
I'd love to. Yeah. So, as part of it is definitely about movement, and with the different brands that I have. So God downloaded a vision to me. There's those divine hits. It was first about really being in the business world, and then years later, so that directed me towards business. I went running. So I'm just going a little bit back, and then I'll bring it up to the current time. But I ran into doing business God's way, and I ran off with it. And as one would, with this, like, now I know what I need to do, but one doesn't have the wisdom. Yeah. Anyway, I got my experiences, and then God actually pulled me right out of the business world. I had a whole long stint of being a mom, and I even felt I had this event that happened, which was like just a spiritual moment of feeling handcuffs, like feeling my wrist handcuffed to the business world. And that handcuff sprung open. And I call it the Holy Spirit, but I felt like the Holy Spirit was saying to me, Nicola, do you want to be handcuffed to the business world? Or now's your chance, and you can take your wrist out. You can free yourself from the business world, because my identity was caught up in, I'm a businesswoman, I'm an entrepreneur, I've studied finance and law, and all of that. Identity, yes.
Identify, make it who we are, these certain roles that we play. And
it was so my identity. I'm talking about in my 20s, and I took, by faith, I took my wrist out, and it was kind of like, well, now who am I going to be? Now I'm a nobody. And I remember just shortly after that, it was like, again, everybody has an identity. They know who they are, and I don't. It's funny how we think like I'm the only one. Anyway,
we always, like, that's the thing, is isolation. Like, don't keep these thoughts like that we're sharing about to yourself. Talk to someone about them. I guarantee you'll find more people that relate than don't.
that do relate. But so I had this moment of complete lostness of I don't know who I am. And then immediately, I'm so grateful for how the Spirit, of God drops into our spirit, into our heart, and just gives us revelation, gives us information that's just perfectly timed, and the perfect information. And what dropped into so I'd given up my business identity. And then what dropped into my spirit was, you're a daughter of God. And that was my identity. So that became my new identity. And as it dropped in, I'm like, that's enough. Perfect. If I never do anything. Sorry?
You are a perfect child of God.
Yes. And I now talk about we're the children of the universe. But for me, I'm God's daughter. I'm Daddy's daughter, and Daddy is God. And it worked. It worked for my heart. It dropped so deep that it was an identity thing that is like, well, this is a better identity than businesswoman, where I need to, make money, run a business. Everybody needs to think I'm amazing. I need fame and fortune. And, and it's like, I'm happy. I'm actually happy to be a daughter of God. That is enough for me. So that was given to me as this gift, which really, you can't say something should hit your heart so deep. It does or it doesn't. It's not a thing we can control. So that really worked. That was definitely a divine hit. And it changed. So for many years then I didn't have business in my life. It's kind of like it disappeared on the horizon. I once was a businesswoman. Now I don't even know where business is in my life. Obviously it's all around me. Other people are doing it. Me,
Right.
no. I'm at home raising the kids, making beautiful homes, spending time with God.
There, you were just focusing on being the daughter of God, which was
Yes.
you were having a role or identity like that is not one that's going to come and go and does not have attachments.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
you're never going to fail at it. You're never going to just, you know what I mean? Like it's a permanent role that's not going to have an attachment or a loss to it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I've just kind of gone along the same journey that you're sharing,
Yeah. So it gives you this quiet confidence and a stability and an anchoring and a security that honestly I want for every person, we don't have to perform. We don't have to prove that life is not about what we achieve and then we're worthy. It just doesn't add like that. The maths doesn't work that way. But then we have to understand this is a love universe, that God created it. God is love. This world is created out of love. It's a beautiful world. We have the opportunity to choose good and bad, to walk a wise walk or a foolish walk, to get things right and wrong, and ultimately, I believe we're on this journey of ourselves maturing into pure love. And that is a journey. That is a lifetime, So while we do business and get married and study and, do whatever we do, write books, be in movies, make medical breakthroughs, all the wonderful things we do, then there's something deeper and something authentic that just keeps us anchored, gives us inner peace, and keeps us on that path that really is the path the universe wants us to have, because the universe is supporting us. But anyway, I did want to answer your question. So which was then business came back. And it came back around when I was 40-ish, which I think is a strategic spiritual number and, breakthrough.
I had an awakening. I'll be 45 on Friday.
Oh, wow. This coming Friday. Well, I'll have to wish you happy birthday on Friday. That's amazing.
Yeah, I had an awakening at 40, though, like where I could not deny it. Like it was
it was
People thought I was having a midlife crisis. My kids thought I was gay. All these things that were happening, which I was raised by lesbians. I love gay people, but like all these things that people thought, because I just was stepping into a different version of myself and it made them feel uncomfortable. But I knew and God knew, and that's all that mattered. Sorry, continue.
Exactly. No, so true. Just yes. And I definitely felt that shift at 40. But this came even somewhat after that, but not much longer after that, where suddenly I received, and I describe it like Noah and the ark, the story in the Bible where here's this man, and then suddenly he receives this instruction to build an ark with the animals 2 by 2 and how it has to be built and why it needs to be built and all of that. And that's like God giving detailed instructions. So it's like from nowhere, a voice, an invisible voice, not even an audible voice. It's just like, So for me, that's what happened. I received this download of built this company called GODBRANDS. Later came Nicola Brands. Boy, I struggled with Nicola Brands because I thought, no, that is ego. I am not doing this thing. I am just going to serve humanity and keep my name out of it. Well, that didn't work. In the end, it was like, yeah, you are the front end of this. And now I've become Dr. Nicola. But the movement, I realized that my life sort of, because there are many moving parts to what I'm doing, it does need like a sharp end. Yeah. And so I have a life motto, which is change the world, love wins. And I'll get to the t-shirts. Change the world. And, there's that beautiful phrase about a quote from Margaret Mead about never doubt that a small group of people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. A small group of people change the world. And I'm like, well, that's enough for me. I'll be one of them. I'm changing the world. The world will change on my watch. And that feels like
across the pond. I'm with you.
Yes, amen. But we feel that we're connected. We're already doing it together, and we're adding the numbers, But I love a small group of people. There's something about the challenge of that, and also about the intimacy. I am a sucker for intimacy. I like authentic relationships. I like quality time. I like deep and meaningful, So that works for me. But yeah, so I felt like I am actually a change agent. That is very core to my being. I can't just maintain the status quo. I need what needs to be different. And assign me to it, so that's just an archetype, I suppose, or a calling. And then it became
that too. Sometimes this thing does not stop with ideas that, like, I have now like a system before I implement something or add it. I have to go through, it has to pass a checklist, because I mean, it's a gift and a curse. All the ideas.
Yeah, no, it's like keeps going.
Yeah. If I listen to all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many things, and you feel so excited and inspired, and it's like, I've got to live to 120 to get all these things done,
Not sleep or eat or have any fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So the t-shirt, so the slogan became "Change the world, love wins." Because change the world can be anything, good or bad, and it's like everything I'm doing is aimed to increase love on earth, and it's practical things. I also say love looks like something, so it's not just this, oh, let's just all, smile and hug each other and that's love. No, love can be giving people food, clothing, soup kitchens, whatever, but it always looks like something, and it looks like many things for different people. So I feel that I'm a catalyst for change. I feel like that I'm here to bring momentum. Well, not even momentum, because I think that momentum is like in the ether. It's in all of us, so that more people join. So I feel like I'm catalytic.
I think you're saying consistency, because you're explaining consistency.
Probably true. Yes.
Momentum and consistency, like you're showing up consistently.
Yes.
Momentum.
And your message doesn't change. You're the same person. They'll come back to me next. It's not, you don't resign from this. It's like, well, I've had enough of my job, I'm resigning. It's like, you can't resign from your destiny. You don't want to, but you can't. Where do you go? There's nowhere to go. So I'm stuck with this for life. It's me expressing me, and I love it. I love that now I'm on this adventure of meeting people all around the world, having such interesting conversations, making connections, making relevant connections where we can collaborate like us now. And it's just amazing. So, but the t-shirts are basically the ones that I've started with, and there's a vision for many t-shirts, which is why I was telling the story in Noah's Ark, because I've got to build these 15 brands in these 2 companies. And God kind of gave me the speak with the voice of Hollywood. When Hollywood speaks, the world listens. And I always imagine, I don't know why, but I imagine a child in China, rural China, having the message and their life being changed because of a message they got. I'm very much about messaging, which is what branding is to me. And I was very inspired at a practical level with like McDonald's and the Happy Meals. I had my kids little, we'd go to McDonald's, get a hamburger and Coke and fries, but you get the toy, and it would be like one of the Disney movies or Pixar, where you've got, and I think of Ice Age, and then you're playing with a little toy. And I imagine this rural child in China playing with this toy. And I'm like, that's where my messages need to reach. So I have to get myself out there, build my business, these businesses, and build a team. And that there's vision to how to actually build this as a virtual organization, so that many different people, that's a whole other thing of like the mechanics of how this business needs to be built.
Person. I don't do anything alone. I don't plan to do it. I'm a big team. Like, it's kind of funny you share that. So I have been speaking for groups in Africa of women who don't really hear about being sexually abused or don't know how to say no in their culture. So I've been doing that since like 2017, virtually and in person. And I love that. I love getting to be a voice of like, yes, I've been through this, and educating and shedding in a community to where they've never heard things like this. They've never heard a woman openly speak like this.
Yeah,
in those platforms, it's been such a gift.
Yeah, that's also amazing what you say. I mean, coming from Africa, I really have a good understanding of African culture and things outside of Africa. I mean, there are obviously other parts of the world as well, but something that you wouldn't even value yourself, even if it's just telling a story or just showing up or something, it is so valuable, and it's making such a difference to people who are just coming from such a lower bar and such a lesser, their world has given them much less at the level of the gifts that we carrying, like outside of Africa. I always say, yes, we need to help Africa, but Africa helps us, because at the level of humanity, and a concept I love, which is Ubuntu, similar to Namaste, I am who I am because of who we all are. There's this connectedness, and there's a child heart, and there's a simple understanding, like a simple wisdom that actually sees clearly. Sometimes we are so in our heads and we're so layered that we've lost touch, and then that's not the problem there. So again, we need to give and to receive from Africa, but I can just see how much amazing impact, you just doing what you do in Africa, how that's really so powerful. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Beautiful.
So, we did have a question. Is someone able to find these t-shirts?
View them. How would we do that, Amanda?
This person I know very well because she's my mom.
Oh, very well. Hi, Mom.
However, to link, and I can get it to my mother.
Okay,
so I have a good guest. I tell her to come on because I want her to get the inspiration, and she's been commenting a lot of good things, and I can tell she's into you.
Oh, well, I hope I get to meet your mom. I love moms. A big part of my message is that the world needs the mothers, and I don't just mean mothers who have given birth, but the spirit of motherhood, which is in every woman. And it's actually world leadership, because it's about love, beauty, nurture, and those are not luxuries. Those are the essence of health. And we haven't had women leaders, and mothers are never going to use their ego. They'll never use their ego. It's just not a thing. It's almost like you can't put ego and mother in one sentence. It doesn't work. So, and I'm saying not the woman. The woman can be on her mothering side or other parts of herself, but the mother is one of the most misunderstood, or we haven't paid attention the way we should. And so we are not releasing this beautiful gift to the world, which is just pure unconditional love and nurture and deep wisdom and deep connectedness, so I'm really touched about your story with your mom, and and definitely hope to meet you, and I'll need to organize a link. Yeah.
Lovely. When you come to the States and visit me, you can.
Yes.
I can't wait to see what you and I end up doing together, because I just feel something's going to come. Love to be on a stage with you. Like, I'm just envisioning things. So they're little divine hits starting to happen. But we do have to wrap up for the sake of time. So How can people find you?
Well, I think a good place to find me is on LinkedIn. My handle is Nicola Middleton.
Okay.
The other place to find me might be on Instagram, and you can DM me. That is Nicola Middleton 42. So Nicola Middleton 42 on Instagram. And that has its own meaning. 4 stands for love in my world. 2 stands for war, which is spiritual. And besides the fact that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy says that the answer to the universe is 42. So that's kind of cool.
Where's my lucky number? My birthday is 4/24.
Oh, really? Okay. So
42, 4/24, 24. I'm just like, whoa. What about a website? Do you have a website?
I've just found a beautiful company that I'm working with, and I will have the Dr. Nicola website up and running.
Okay, soon. So you can come. This is going to live, even though it's live, it's going to live on LinkedIn. So once your website's on, I recommend you come back to this post and put your website in here.
It's drnicola.com, but as I said, it's currently in construction.
I've had mine under construction a few times, so I understand. But thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope everything's okay with your husband. I know something happened or whatever, but saying prayers for you. I really didn't know our level of spiritual alignment. I knew our soul connection, but I'm so grateful to hear more about you and learn more about your spiritual alignment, because that's really. Oh, my mom already found you on Instagram, she said. Got it. And Sarah, my business partner, had asked a question earlier, but you answered it. She said, how is there anything that you miss about the business world, but you're in it now already? I knew that was going to come, so I didn't bring it up.
Full time.
Let's manifest some abundance together, Nicola. Let's do it, and
I love that. Amen. Manifest abundance. Yes.
If you could give one final words of wisdom to anyone that's watching that maybe wants to do something, they're scared, they want to put them, like, what would you say to somebody out there so they can live with that levels without limits?
Yes. Well, I think when you asked me that question, immediately sort of a quote came to mind, which is leap and the net will appear. So it's all about, first we have to step into that thing that's burning inside of us or that we want to do. But you do have to overcome that fear, and you have to take risk. So when you can overcome fear and take risk, this magical, abundance and magical way of living, I want to say, because it is magical to live, to breathe, to be, to have the earth adventure is just, a gift, and we should be grateful for every breath we take. But if we really want to unlock our own life, and everybody has a life to unlock, you can't make sure of everything. And it's like, when everything is perfect and when I'm really secure and sure, then I can take the step. It actually doesn't work that way. It's the other way around. So the quote is leap, like take a leap off the cliff, not a real one, a faith leap. And you know when you need to, but you need to listen to your heart, because your heart says go, and you must listen, follow your heart, it knows the way. So leap and the net will appear. The safety and the things the universe wants to give to you, they will arrive, but you have to leap. It's get out the boat, walk on the water, if we're using a Christian story, a Bible story.
I like to say, be scared and do it anyways.
Yes. There you go. That's also,
Aman Sophie, Dr. Nicola is a true visionary, and hearing her share her insights is an absolute pleasure. Highly recommend tuning in. Is that a friend of yours or a colleague?
That is a colleague of mine. And hi, Aman. That's really amazing. I mean, that's I did put to do this link on my LinkedIn site. So he's just made my day. Makes me very emotional. He is actually helping me. He is being the person who I found that I could really align with to walk this walk, because I realized it is a selfless walk. I'm in business, but I'm not motivated by the things of business. I'm motivated by eternal things.
Yeah.
And the website that I was talking about that we're busy working on, he is the one that I'm looking to make the magic happen.
Yes. So my motto, which I've actually trademarked now, is creating lasting change. That's my motto with my brand, my company, Next Level. Creating lasting change. I don't want to be part of people's quick fix. I want to be part of the long lasting change journey. And you're doing that out in the world. And I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for your time and energy today. Thank you for tuning in to Levels Without Limits. This will be living live on LinkedIn and on Facebook. We will upload clips to Instagram and TikTok and those places. But if you have any questions, comments for Dr. Nicola, you can come on here. You can find her on this feed. I will definitely tag her if she's not already. And you can find me at Next Level Wellness and Behavioral Health.com, AmandaMarinoSpeaks.com, and then I'm Amanda Marino Official on many of my social profiles. It's been a blessing. Thank you. You have a beautiful, beautiful day, my friend.
Thanks, you too. It's been amazing. Mwah.